Lauded for bringing the ordinary voice to the South African landscape, tributes have been pouring in for the late Soli Philander, a comedian, a writer, a poet who is well known across South Africa, also in the arts, in film, as well as a comedian. Now, a fellow comedian and a son of the soil, Mark Ling, is among those who have paid tribute to Soli Philander. In an early morning post, he said that Soli was an inspiration to him. So let us we're joined now by Mark Ling for his views on Soli Philander's passing. Mark, you told me just now that you woke up to incredibly sad news. He was an inspiration to you. Let us start from the beginning. You would have known about Soli Philander since before you started in this industry.
Yeah, firstly, my condolences to Soli's children and to Tony as well. It's not the news that I expected to get anytime soon from Soli. So I was shocked this morning, and I think I was in the final years of my studies, although Soli's not much older than me, but I'm a late bloomer. So, and Soli Philander was on stage. I went to watch something and was doing a character called Rosie September. And also while I was studying, I was an usher at the Baxter Theatre. And then I got the opportunity, of course, to watch every night and watch for free. And his authenticity, his skill, his intellect, and with all of that, his ability to still make a room scream with laughter whilst dealing with deep issues, you know, around race, around culture, particularly, and his way of dealing with it and still getting South Africans to laugh. I was just in awe of that. And at that time, I was studying to become a lawyer. I don't know what my parents were thinking or what I was thinking, but I didn't know that I would end up on stage. And now I do characters like Colleen the Cashier. I do characters like Auntie Merle Abrams. And I thought about all of that this morning. How could he not be an inspiration to me? Because you don't know where your life's going to take you. But when you realize that you've had the opportunity to look at people like that who paved the way and who showed you what the possibilities are, you know, to speak in our own voices, to speak with our own accents, but still to tell worldly stories. And I'm just, you know, and as being a comedian and Soli being part of the comedy industry, I was driving here and I was so thrilled to know that he was acknowledged in his lifetime, because often we wait until people pass on. But with the Comics Choice Awards, I think it was 4 or 5 years back, Soli was acknowledged with a Lifetime Achievement Award. And I'm so happy that he was able to celebrate this in his lifetime. And he was so over the moon. He was so bakhat on the day and filled with such joy and bravado and cheekiness, exactly the way that he was. And now people look at Soli at later stages of his life, dancing on TikTok. And so many people had so much to say. No, you're a grown man. You should not be doing this. You're an adult. You have children. This looks ridiculous. And you know what I thought about this morning? I thought, wow, look at us as human beings having an issue with somebody dancing.
Being judgerach, in other words.
Being judgerach about somebody dancing, about somebody bringing joy. So, I'm glass houses. I'm even looking at myself. I mean, we have so much to pause about and just to think, you know, before we just leap into negativity. Because you wake up on a day like today, and someone has gone on to the next chapter, whatever that journey is. We don't know until we have to take that step. And it's something that we're all going to have to do. So once again, it brings to the fore, you know, how we treat people, how we view somebody, how we look at someone. Because I don't know, this could be the last time I'm having a conversation with you. So it's about treating life more gently and treating everybody with a lot more care.
We talk about Soli, and you spoke earlier on that, of course, he was born in the 60s, a difficult time for South Africa, you know, the apartheid era, and I suppose just the gumption to bring that authentic voice during an extremely hard time. I would think that would have, given, I suppose, a hand up, a thumbs up to other people of colour in South Africa who were hoping to grace the stages, to grace national television, to be able to say, listen, this is me, unapologetically me, and we have a voice too.
Absolutely. I'm listening to you now, and we should say he was an activist as well. And Soli had, I used the word bravado earlier, but a devil may care about him when it came to speaking the truth and power to truth. Up until yesterday, that was his brand. And I think he brought that into theatre, he brought that onto stage, into the various roles that he played as well. And yes, he was performing at a time where many of us were not allowed to go to certain theatres, were not allowed to go to certain beaches, but he involved himself in work related to those very issues. And if it wasn't for Soli and his guts, somebody said this morning, he kicked down so many doors for people like me to just come along and casually, without thinking a lot about it. You can imagine what he had to do. It was a very different circumstance for him. But we don't even think, because we've got freedom of speech. We can say what we want to say. We can do what we want to do in theatre. And it's because of people like Soli and the other greats who have left us, and some who are still around as well. So on a day like today, we also take time to acknowledge that for sure.
Mark, thank you so much for speaking to me this morning. Of course, Mark Ling, award-winning comedian in his own right, writer, and so many other hats that he wears. But speaking to us on a day of great sadness on the passing of Soli Philander, who is known countrywide. I mean, he has performed on TV shows, he has performed on theatre, in film, as a writer, as a comedian. And also then South Africa waking up this morning to the news that Soli Philander has passed. We know that tributes are pouring in, tributes from the Artscape Theatre, tributes from politicians. We know that the Minister of Arts and Culture, as well as the provincial MEC here for Cultural Affairs and Sport, have also weighed in and shared their condolences and their memories of someone we can only describe as being one of South Africa's sons of the soil, and also someone who has had a deep and lasting impact on the arts in this country.